All right, I'm the Flat Rate Master, and let's talk about, well, time management as a technician. Now, time management is something that, well, most of society really struggles with. My wife, lots of other people start, piddling on stuff, and all of a sudden half the day's gone. It's a real problem for technicians, flat rate or hourly or whatever the pay system, is you need to manage your time. Your service writer is going to bug you about this car. Your service writer is going to bug you about that car. But the fact of the matter is you need to manage your time to actually get the job done. Now, I've told my system before, when it's getting towards the end of the day, I've got X amount of tickets sold, and I know I can't get all of it done. Like I'll have 3 tickets sold that are due today, and I can't get them all done. There's just no physical way I can actually bust out that much in the time left in the day. I will grab the service writers that are involved with those 3 tickets or whatever tickets I have and go, okay, I can get 2 of these done. Which ones are the highest priority? That helps me manage their expectations as well as giving me the knowledge I need to go after the cars that I know I can get done and that will get done as long as, nothing goes wrong, as I have a dead bay right there. We'll talk about that in a minute, but again, it helps manage their expectations. I know I have more work sold than I can get done physically in a day. They understand that. They have to, because I'm explaining to it, I can get what I can done, but there's only so much I can do. Most technicians do a very poor job at that. Most service writers do a very poor job at that. They don't understand that, like I will give this shop as an example. We have 3 service writers, and you may have tickets from all 3 of them. They might all have promised a car that day without realizing that, that 4-hour ticket sold for this service writer, that 8-hour ticket sold for that service writer, and that 3-hour ticket sold for them, and they all want to be done today. I'm good, but I'm not that good. They have expectations that you can't meet. And a lot of times that causes friction between, everybody up front. And when you have that situation, it's best just to pull them all together and go, I can get this car done, I can get your car done, or I can get your car done, or I can get 2 of these cars done, but not all 3. I can get this car done if I just focus on it, or I can get these 2 cars done if I focus on those. Where you want me to go? Now, when it comes to time management, we gotta talk about it. Distractions. That would be distractions from your significant other calling you, texting you, going on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, when you should be working. And some shops have a no cell phone policy unless you're test driving. Some shops don't. Because we're a flat rate shop, it's kind of hard to enforce a no cell phone thing, so we don't. Nor would I really let that happen. I think we're adults and we should be able to manage our own time. One of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because you really should be managing your own time. But you really need to limit things like that. When you're at work, you're here to work. You're here to fix cars. Whether you're hourly, flat rate, salary, whatever, you're here to fix cars. I've seen techs spend 20 minutes looking on YouTube trying to figure out how to do a job that would take 20 minutes. I've seen technicians waste way more time looking at a YouTube video on how to do a repair when it's simply explained in service information. And I get that reading comprehension versus seeing it done are very different. And sometimes, you definitely need visual aids on how to do it. Perfect example is using this tool, Thomas EXO VCDS. I watched that video about 600 times trying to use this tool because there is definitely a trick to it. That was from the old tools video, by the way. The YouTube has a playback speed. Playback faster. You don't need to see that technician take every bolt out, you know. Go for the highlights, just saying. Some shops have a policy where you take the wheels off every car, which I think is stupid. It's stupid to take the wheels off every car you pull in to check the brakes. You know, understandably, if you see the brakes are thin and you need a closer look at them because you can't see them real well, but most times you can really see the brakes well enough to get an idea of where they're at and go on your judgment based on that rather than immediately just pulling the car in, lifting it up, taking the wheels off to look at the brakes. I don't know about you, but you know, torquing wheels back isn't something I want to just do on every car. Call me crazy. Company policy is not to take the wheels off on every car. Don't. Look at the brakes. If you think you need to take the wheels off to do a closer inspection, take them off. But move on. Let's talk about some other things you can do to improve your time management. Starting to work on a car before you have all the parts, especially if you only have one bay, is a bad idea. It just simply is. Try to grab another car. Try to do something else while you're waiting for those parts. Or don't take that part of the car apart until you have those parts so you can pull it back out. For instance, you're doing a four-wheel brake job. You only have all the parts for the rear brakes. You can go ahead, pull it in, knock the rear brakes out. Don't take the front wheels off or the rotors and the calipers and all that until you have those parts. So you can, you know, back the car back out. Stuff like that is really stuff that a lot of people miss. They just don't get. Don't tear a car down until you have all the parts. Unless you know for sure they're going to be here at this time and well before you're going to need them. If you have 2 bays or more, it's not so much of a deal breaker because, you know, you've got 2 bays, you can do something in the other bay while the first bay is down. Speaking of which, I might as well go ahead and mention it. Yes, I have a dead bay. Gotta love rust. Doing a steering rack on a CRV. It was in last Wednesday's video. They bought everything. Well, they bought the steering repairs, not the brakes. But anyway, went to do the rack. Rusty car. One of the bolts for the cradle for the steering rack, despite my best efforts, bolt broke. Those brackets, and by the way, they all came out really hard. Despite my best efforts, broke. And went to pull the brackets out because, you know, when you do that job, you have to pull one of the brackets out to get the rack out. But anyway, torch was involved. Bolts are basically seized in the brackets. And guess what? There's like one of the driver's side brackets left in the country, and the passenger side is discontinued. We tried to get one off of eBay, and well, they did the exact same thing I did. They broke it. So I had fun with a torch and then a drill and a time insert. So fun. Waiting for new bolts. So I do have a dead bay. If I didn't have an extra bay, I'm not going to sit on this car in my bay for 4 days. I'm going to put the sucker back together, put some Go Jacks under it, push it out. No steering on it, so have to put Go Jacks on it. But again, time management. I had all my parts until stuff broke. On that same subject, time management when stuff breaks, well, it goes out the window. You got to deal with whatever breaks and however long that takes. When you get done with that job that went to heck, look at what you've got and decide with your service writers which one's next. So as always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.